Hi guys, so in this video I want to talk a little bit about how you can tell if you're actually in labor or not, or if you're just in pre-labor. So we can talk about these different stages of labor, and pre-labor is going to be that time where things really start to ramp up enough that you know that things are happening and things are getting ready, but not quite enough to dilate your cervix. So some of the things you might notice in your preterm labor is practice contractions, or what we call Braxton Hicks contractions. And they're really not practice contractions. That, it's everything is really gearing up and getting ready for the task of giving birth. So Braxton Hicks contractions differ from regular contractions in that they are more irregular. So they can last for 30 to 40 seconds or 2 minutes, and they could be 5 minutes apart or much longer apart, and they're not going to be there's not going to be a progression. So what you're going to be looking for is a progression of contractions. But there's going to be some excitement because you can feel that your uterus is contracting. Now, when you get into preterm labor, some potential signs that don't always happen might be that you might have some diarrhea or some soft stools as your body's kind of cleaning itself out. You may begin nesting again and have this desire to clean and do some more preparation for the coming of the child. You may feel some cramping, like kind of similar to what you might have with period cramps. And you might have a little bit of backache. Sometimes someone will say, oh, I just feel a little bit sore in your back. So they might be kind of subtle. And so we call those sort of potential signs, because some of those things can happen if you were not even in labor. So what are some real good signs of really heading into early labor? That is that your contractions are going to progress. And what I mean by that is they're going to grow in length of time and how far apart they are. So it's going to be a regular, kind of more regular than a Braxton Hicks contraction, and you can track, oh, now they're getting closer together, they're getting longer. Another sure sign is that your water may break, which does happen. That is when the amniotic water break is when the amniotic sac that the baby is sitting in and the amniotic fluid may spring a leak, or may open up a little bit. So you may have some amniotic fluid that leaks out, and you can usually tell the difference between whether you're urinating or whether it's your water breaking, because there's usually a higher volume. But that's another a sure sign that you are coming into labor, early labor. So why is it important to delineate? I mean, one of the things to keep in mind is that if you're going to the hospital and you go too soon, you're not at least 3 or 4 or more centimeters dilated, they may send you home. So the best place to do pre-labor is at home, where you have all of your stuff, you can relax. It's a good time to try to rest up for the task at hand, practice your breathing techniques, practice your positions, and when you're in your right mind, kind of think through what your birth plan is going to be. Because it is somewhat disappointing to be sent home. And the midwife, if you were doing a home birth, would probably not show up, or would not stay if you weren't at least 3 or 4 centimeters dilated, because that could take some time. So in essence, one of the things we're looking for as a wrap up is that if your contractions are going to be more regular, getting closer together and progressing in early labor, they will not do that in pre-labor. Your water may break, and you may have some cramping, nesting, and some diarrhea. So that's kind of in a nutshell what things that you can look for to delineate between whether you're in pre-labor or active